Brooke Turco.
No, it hasn't oh, yeah, it is.
Okay, let's go.
My name is Brooke Turco.
I'm Noah Holloway, and I am the the quote finder.
I'm the moderator.
I'm Naomi Ray, and I'm the summarizer.
You need to turn the computer. My name is Nia Simone Anderson, and I am the multiple perspective person for this chapters.
This chapter.
1 through 6.
Chapters.
You were gonna say
Right.
something?
Well, how about you go turn the camera? You Xavier Brown, illustrator.
Okay. So first we're going to start off with some background information. So
Chimamanda.
Ngozi Adichie was born on September 15, 1977 in Enugu, Nigeria, and was one of the 6 children with Nigerian parents. She grew up in a well-accomplished family, with her father being the first Nigerian professor of statistics and later became the first vice chancellor of the university. Her works, including Purple Hibiscus, which won a Commonwealth Writers' Prize, has received great acclaim and translated in over 30 languages. She is of the Igbo descent, with her mother being the first female registrar in the university. And also, in Adichie's school life, Adichie often clashed heads with her teachers, but was extremely academically gifted, while she received many academic awards. She enrolled in medical school, but eventually dropped out to pursue her dreams of being a writer. At the age of 19, she went to America because of transferring to Drexel University. Also, as a person, she has close affiliations with Chinua Achebe, once even living with him in his own home. But predominantly his works, especially Things Fall Apart, inspired her to become an influential writer. With Purple Hibiscus, she has also received acclaim from her second book, Half of a Younger Son. In both of these stories, she is known to write real characters, and in Purple Hibiscus, the story focuses on her family life in Nigeria from her extreme Christian values and middle-class way of life. Okay, and now we will hear from the vocab.
Speak louder, please.
Now we will hear from the vocab quote finder.
Okay, well, alright, so for the quotes that I found, the first quote that I chose was a quote from, I believe it's chapter 1 through 4, regardless. It says, alright. Papa says, Kambili says, I meant to say I am sorry that Papa broke your fingers, but broke your figurines. But the words that came out were, I'm sorry for your figurines broke, Mama. This quote is very important because it gives insight on Beatrice being physically abused. Kambili was brainwashed from birth to always be polite and to not get in anyone's business, and to only make her Papa proud. Since she wanted to do this, she can't seem to bring herself to blame Papa for breaking the figurines, even though the entire family saw. My next quote will be, you want to comment on that, Brooke?
Yes. I think this quote is very relevant towards how she feels towards her father. I think she fears of him a lot, because she would have said father broke your figurines, but she didn't say that because she's feared that she blames him, something bad might happen. So that's what I think.
I agree. I think everybody.
Speak louder, please.
I agree. I think that the mother, Jaja, and Kambili all fear the father and they want. But Kambili, she just really wants to be accepted by him, and she wants to prove herself to him.
Nia, you have something to say about it?
I don't want to get into my part because this is a part of it, but the gender roles are just 90-10 here. And that's all I'm going to say until it's my part.
Xavier, do you have anything to say?
No, they basically cleared it up.
Okay, and my next quote will be, this is an illusion. Things started to fall apart when my brother Jaja did not go to communion, and Papa flung his heavy missile across the room and broke the figurines on the etarge. This is an allusion to Things Fall Apart. It's another book that references imperialism and its relation to African life, written by Chinua Achebe, which was basically a mentor to Adichie. Papa represents imperialism, and the rest of his family are very traditional. And this book shows how they are going to react to an imperialist affecting their family. All right, you guys have anything to say about that one? Do you have anything to say about that one?
I mean, if we're silent,
Oh, I was reading what your response to.
No.
Okay, now next part.
Okay, I'm the summarizer, so I'll give a brief summary about chapters 1 through 6. Chapter 1, it's Palm Sunday. They live in Nigeria. It starts with Jaja, which is the protagonist's brother. He doesn't participate in communion, so when they get home, the father is very angry and he throws the missile at Jaja, which breaks the figurines. And the figurines are something that the mother really cared about, but because she's so submissive, she doesn't do anything about it. And this chapter also explains how the father is very wealthy and he owns businesses, so I guess their standard of living is higher than other people in Africa. And in the second chapter, Jaja and Kambili go to school, and then we're introduced to Abe Coker, which is a publisher of the Standard, and they explain how the Standard is very critical of the government and the head of state. And then the next chapter, it explains how the mother is pregnant, but then later she gets sick, and then when they get back home, Kambili describes her father beating the mother, and the mother losing the baby, or losing another baby because she had many miscarriages. And then in the next chapter, Abe Coker, who was the publisher, he was arrested by soldiers because of his critiques of the government. And then Kambili got her report card, and she got the second rank in the class, and their father was very disappointed in her because he expected his children to be the head of the class. And then the father goes to the school and sees the girl who beat her for first place, and Kambili just decides that she's going to get first place next semester, which in chapter 5 it shows that she did get first place. And then the family goes on vacation, well, not vacation, but they go on a trip to the hometown to see the father's family, where they meet Papa Nuklu, and they explain how the father doesn't like the children to go to Papa. The father doesn't like the children to go see Papa Nuklu because he's pagan, and the father's very religious. So he lets the children go visit his father for like 15 minutes, and then after that, in the next chapter, they visit, or their aunt Ifeoma comes with her family, and then she asks the father to take them to a spirit festival and then he asks them to go. The aunt asks the father to take the children to a spirit festival, and she does. But what she doesn't tell the father was that she was going to also take his father with them. So they go to a spirit festival and they see like kind of like parade of sorts. That's all that happened. Now we'll have the most perspectives person speak.
hey everybody, I decided to do my portion on gender roles. After listening to Brooke's connections and talking about how Things Fall Apart, or the person who wrote Things Fall Apart had an impact on the person who wrote this book, I really understand it because they are parallel kind of. And in this book, it's a patriarch hierarchy, in their household, and there is no power with the mom or the children. Sexism is throughout the book, and it's incorporated in their tradition, and it's incorporated in their colonial African society. Even the liberated Auntie Fiona is told by her father that she doesn't count because she is a girl. There's pain and love are interwoven in the protagonist's mind. I use a connection of her mother beating, I mean, not her mom beating her dad, but her dad beating her mom, as in Things Fall Apart, Okonkwo beat 3 of his wives, and his children suffered, not just mentally and emotionally. And that was another connection. And then I connected it to the movie The Butler, because in one of the chapters, Kim Beatley wondered what it would be like to join their cause, but she could only watch from the car window because her dad said it wouldn't be a good impact on his job and his reputation, because he's known for being this way and the protesters are on the other side. So if his daughter was a part of it, it would make him look bad. And that is what happened in The Butler with the son trying to be a Black Panther while his dad works at the White House as a butler. So I connected that one, and then I connected the parents being strict on their Christian beliefs and expecting the best for their children off of just like, that's just a typical thing. But the books that I said were it's called 42nd Street, and then I also did a book called Let the Church Say Amen, and also the movie. So I connected that. And one more thing. I connected the dad beating the mom and everybody acting like they didn't know what it's about to the movie Daddy's Little Girls, because people like to guard themselves from the truth and not speak on the truth and denying of its existence. So,
All right.
Those were good.
Yeah. I really like the Butler one.
I like the one about Daddy's Little Girls because I remember in that movie how like there was like the drug dealer, and then everybody nobody told the police about it, and the police didn't really do anything about it. So I see how that connected to this one.
I also see. All right, I think we can start on our moderator questions.
Okay. So the first question is, well, this kind of ties in with what Nia kind of said, but is more specific. It says, how are women portrayed in this novel, especially in the
Actually, I think we need to take a pause because my computer needs to charge. Let's get up and go in the project lab.
You paused it?
You can't, it's 2 different videos.
oh, we need to hurry up.
Get that box, get my box. Thank you, young sir.
You're welcome.
All right, we have found a safe area. Now we're gonna do our moderator questions by Brooke Turpo.
Okay. So, my first question is, how are women portrayed in this novel, especially in the part in which Jaja asks an asinine question at the festival in chapter 6, and the father responds by saying, "That's a female thing to say. Why did his sister just laugh along?" That's on page 87.
Where'd you put the box?
Can you please repeat your question?
Okay. I said, how are women portrayed in this novel, especially in the part in which Jaja asks an asinine question at the festival, and the father responds by saying that that's a female thing to say?
You mean the grandfather?
Yeah. Why did his sister just laugh along? On page 87.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. It says, don't speak like a woman. I think that's just a part of the culture. When we read the other part, Things Fall Apart, they live in patriarchal society, so women seem inferior to men. So that's why I think they're seen as weak compared to men. So that's why, and they're seen as like stupid. So that's why he said like, when he asked, like, I guess, like a stupid question that he couldn't ask. That's why he compared him to a woman.
Yeah.
And she accepted it because that's all, like, she's used to.
That's all she ever known. She doesn't know to go against it. That's the thing. Like, when people can't fight for what they don't understand. This change on their mind. It's mental slavery. They don't know any better. That's the only thing they ever knew. So they can't know to be better. They don't know that they're worthy.
I also have something else to say. On page, well, you asked about gender role, or how are women portrayed. In this talk on page 75, when the aunt is talking to the mama, and she's, the aunt is like teaching at a university, and she's explaining how the girls, it says, I don't know who will take care of whom. 6 year olds in my first year seminar class are married. Their husbands visited Mercedes and Lexus cars every weekend. Their husbands buy them stereos and textbooks and refrigerators, and when they graduate, their husbands own them and their degrees. Do you see? So she's basically saying that even at the university, the ones who go to college, but then all they look forward to is getting married, and then they don't really value their education. That's not in their culture.
Well, I agree with both of you, and I must say that this is a patriarchal society, even though they expect women to be uneducated and stupid people. But I find that quite ironic when the father, he embodies the patriarchal society, but he expects his daughter to be the smart one and like the best in her class. So I kind of find that ironic.
That is ironic.
I'd like to comment on that. I think that he is very patriarchal, but he still thinks his family is the best in Nigeria.
He wants to. He wants them to be perfect.
So I think that's why he wants to do that.
But you can't be switching up like that. That's called wishy-washy.
So, okay. And this is another question. Why do you think the father didn't leave his wife even though she was unable to have a baby for many years? And do you think that he was ever unfaithful even with his strong religious ties?
I think that he didn't do it because he wanted to set an example. He wanted to set an example for the rest of the people in his family and the people at the church. He wanted to say, like, having 8 wives, multiple wives, and having babies with those 8 multiple wives is a very traditional thing that the Igbo people did. And I think that he was very Europeanized, so he wanted to get away from that traditional Igbo sense of thinking, and that's why he did that. And what else did he say? He said, do you think he cheated? I don't think he cheated because, again, he wanted to set an example, so he didn't want to have 18 different wives.
Well, I don't think he was ever unfaithful because I believe that the father is so like religiously like he's so religious and Christian that he believes in like faithfulness to save his life. I guess is that understandable? And that I don't think.
She said she thinks that he's so Christian that
He
she doesn't think she's capable of doing anything wrong.
Yeah, and I don't think that he will, like Noah said, tarnish his reputation. But I think he didn't leave her because I think he actually cared about his daughter, his daughter, the narrator, and he didn't want, like Noah said, to tarnish his reputation. Naomi?
I kind of agree with like things that both of you said. I think, but I can kind of see where like what you said, I guess he cares about them. Like even though he beats them, he cares about them. But I guess he doesn't know how to show it in like I guess a proper way.
The love slip.
Yeah. And then I do think that it would be like damaging to his reputation because he's built up his like status for himself if he were to do that.
I don't really agree with everything. It's just I understand about his ideas about he beats somebody, still loves him. I just don't agree with it. I can see it. I just can't agree with it at all. show any sympathy.
So,
Xavier, do you have anything to say?
so what can you tell? Okay. So what can you tell about societies in Africa during this time with the continuous coups and revolutionary and democratic and
You speak up.
okay,
I was
sorry,
gonna say,
sorry.
can you say that again?
What can you tell about societies in Africa during this time with the continuous coups, and revolutions?
This during apartheid, right? Yes, I feel what you said.
Well,
This is in Nigeria, right?
the summary that Brooke Turpo did.
We're doing a video.
Okay, so I think that you said what effect does it have?
Yeah, what can you tell about societies in Africa during this time?
They're very easy to take over. I think since if you have a strong military, then you can take over whatever you want, and I think that's how Africa is.
I'd like to answer. Okay.
Wait,
during-
speak up.
All right, during this time, a lot of countries are still developing.
25 minutes.
That was 20.
Okay, a lot of countries are still developing, and the governments are still trying to accept, reform and stuff, be developed. So that's why people are trying to gain power in each government. So that's why most of them are corrupt. And want power. Well, all right, you go.
I also agree with both of you, and I agree
I think we
that.
need to hurry up and get to Xavier's portion of his illustration because we
Okay,
only have 3
yes.
minutes left. So I say we
Let's
skip all
go
this.
to the
So we
illustration.
go to the illustration. Plus, the 10th grade got to get rowdy.
Illustrations.
Bring the computer closer to him.
That's on my paper with, so you do it. Yeah, it had to. Boy, this is a quick one.
I thought that's the one that you had original.
No.
That's yours.
Okay, so I drew up a picture, of the main character's father, which is Eugene, or Papa as she calls him. He's a very prominent person in his country. He's very successful.
Oh my God.
Please stop.
Hey man, let's go, man. Let's get it. Alright, this picture of Eugene, the main character. Okay.
Why did you put that mess in that set right
Look, I stole.
Okay, and that's it. Thank you for listening.
Cause when I stole.
Is that even long enough for you?
No, it's not long enough. We see 25 minutes. Let's go back to one of your questions.
Answer.
25. It's like 25 in Virginia.
Let's.
Go back to one of
We're answering your question.
Okay, let's go back to the question about my take on this question. I think that these societies were able to have like multiple coups and revolutions because it was overall unstable and they were like weak, powerful like dictators. And I find like African societies were very passionate but also very separated, and it wasn't very unified together because if they were more unified, I think they would have came up with a more democratic way of living.
And on page 25 it says that Kambili was saying that, or on page 24 it says that Papa told us that politicians were corrupt and the Standard had written many stories about the cabinet ministers who stashed money in foreign bank accounts.
They were exploiting money.
Money meant for paying teacher salaries and building roads. And then she said that Nigerians needed a renewed democracy instead of the current government that they had.
Yeah, this just tells us that they live in a corrupt society. The government is weak, and there aren't strict rules or codes for like even the parliament, even right?
They can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Do it.
I ain't talking about going back.
Do it. Yep.
So we have 45 seconds left. So we're just gonna talk about how we feel about the book so far. I think the book is just getting great. I think we're in the rising action stage. And we're just going up that hill. I can't wait until they stay with the aunt. I mean, I know they're already there, but I just like to see this new thing with the aunt.
I like to see how they're exposed to the different African cultures because when they went to the festival, they were very like, I guess, like shocked they never seen anything like that.
And I want to see how what the father is gonna think of this.
And I like to see a dynamic change of the mother.
And then Xavier didn't do anything.